We're going to talk about swans now, those majestic white birds that always make rivers and lakes look so fantastic. Kind of iconic image of Britain, really. Now, the reason we're going to talk about them, it turns out that lovely birds that they are the worst trespassers on Network Rail train tracks. And that staff at Network Rail are being trained in how to handle them, how to capture them, to get them off the rails. And they're being taught at a place called the Swan Sanctuary in Shepperton in Surrey, a place I know rather well, actually. So I thought we might try and find out a little bit about these extraordinary birds. I mean, they're beautiful, they're amazing, they're iconic. There's several myths that surround them as well that perhaps we can get to the bottom of. So let's talk to, she's the founder of the Swan Sanctuary's granddaughter, Gemma Nelson. Welcome, Gemma.
Hiya.
And there you are with the swans. I grew up around Shepperton. Is the Ship and the Anchor, those pubs, are they still there?
They are indeed, I do believe, yeah. They're over at Church Square, aren't they?
That's right, yeah. I used to get up to some very bad things in those boozers when I was a kid. Anyway, I digress. Yes, now, the reason I want to talk about swans is they're amazing animals. And when I was a kid once, not around your area, somewhere else, I think I strayed too near to a swan's nest. And the damn things chased me. I've still got this sort of nightmare memory of it. They can get quite aggressive if you get near their young ones, can't they?
Yeah, they're really, really aggressive around breeding season. It is... people that have known swans for ages and have swans in their area go, it's like I've got a completely different swan when it comes to breeding season. They get really, really territorial and quite aggressive.
Now, the sort of thing that we always used to talk about when I was a kid was that, if you get too near a swan, you know, they've got these amazing wings. And by the way, when they're flying, you can hear them, can't you? That sort of... and the thing we were always told was if you get too near and they hit you with their wings, it'll break your arm. Is that true?
I was asked this question recently, and what I said was, if you were a rickets-ridden Victorian child, then yes, it probably would break your arm. In this day and age, probably not, but it's really, really going to hurt and do some damage. You wouldn't want to be that close. I mean, I've been hit by a swan's wing and only like clipped slightly, and that hurt. So I wouldn't want to be much closer and be hit by one. So
because they've got a massive wingspan, I mean, so they're quite powerful birds.
Yeah, they can have up to about a 6-foot wingspan. Wow. Their wings are huge.
Yeah.
They weigh about as much as a toddler. So they've got to get, you know, a good weight off of the ground with those wings. So they're incredibly powerful. And of course, their wings are what they use for fighting. So what would closest would be what we would call their elbow.
Yeah.
Is sort of quite bony. So, you know, they use it for fighting and they are quite good at fighting with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But they are magnificent creatures. So tell us about the sanctuary, because they can be, of course, the victim of sort of human abuse, human mistreatment. Kids fire catapults and fishing hooks and that kind of stuff. So tell us about what work the sanctuary does.
So we deal with everything. So fishing line related injuries, catapult injuries, even dog attacks, swans being attacked by dogs. They're also susceptible to sort of illnesses as well. So during this time of year, we're dealing with botulism. If you're unlucky enough to get sewage in your water, they get sewage sickness, covered in all sorts of road runoff during the winter when you get the really big heavy rains. Lots of contaminants in the water, so we're washing them. We're really lucky. We've got we're a registered veterinary practice, so our vet is in twice a week, and we do all of our operations in-house. For things like fishing line injuries, what happens is a lot of fishermen panic and then pull the line back. And if they've swallowed the hook, you can imagine what
dear. Awful.
But our vet she's amazing, and she's able to patch up these kind of things sort of practically in her sleep. She is a godsend to us, really.
How many swans have you got there, Gemma?
Well,
I can see 2, but how many do you...
There are 4 behind me. This is a family in common. that weren't very well. But yeah, we've got well over 300 on site.
And are they all needing help that we've just discussed?
All of them at one point were needing help. So we've got our main hospital building, and then we have various lakes outside that get more wild the further away from the building they get. And most of
oh no, don't go. This is
will
great.
have been in the hospital, not able to pick them up unless they.
Okay, yeah, the line's breaking up a little bit, but let's persevere. You know, you obviously love these birds, and they are amazing creatures. You know, they're quite a sight. Tell us about what's. I mean, can they? We talked about them being aggressive when they're, you know, breeding and stuff, but can they be friendly, lovable animals as well?
They really can, and lots of people, they are very much like people. They all have their own individual personalities and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that, like here, because they are fed by the same people every day, they know who's coming with dinner, so they will sort of flock to you. They're like, oh, it's dinner time, snacks. Yeah. And it's brilliant.
So they're like dogs. They'll recognise you and things like that.
Yeah, they do recognise the people that feed them, and that's quite cool.
Okay.
They rush to you.
and lastly, great talking to you. Really interesting. The story I read in the Times that they get onto railways a lot, so the staff there, I think with the help of you guys, are learning how to catch them. I mean, that would strike me as a very daunting task, but how do you do that? If you need to catch a swan, how do you do it?
Well, you've got to have the confidence to do it. It is all about
okay.
You've got to, it's one of those things, is if you hesitate, they're going to take advantage of that. So you've just got to be brave and, for lack of a better word, scoop them up. Yeah. We say make sure you're keeping the wings tucked in and keeping them into your body, sort of under your arm. Yeah. And yeah, you've got to have the confidence. And of course, the Network Rail guys, they've all been given specialist kit so they can contain the birds safely and either transport them to us or a local rescue. Okay.
And last question, Jo, how old do swans live?
They can live, it all depends. In the wild, I know there has been the oldest living swan in the wild documented was 25 years old.
Wow, wow. Well,
there is talk of one that is probably about 35, but they can't confirm it.
Oh, that's amazing. So they live quite a while. Well, listen, what fantastic work you do. And as I say, they're the most majestic birds, if you ask me. Iconic in this country and really amazing to talk to you. Thank you very much. That was excellent. Gemma Nelson there, down at the Swan Sanctuary in Shepperton in Surrey, area that I know very well. Grew up around there.